Our lead story tonight comes from Australia, from the city of Melbourne. Indians came under attack in the city. This happened on Sunday. Pro-Khalistani groups attacked Indians carrying the national flag. Take a look at this. The images clearly show that the attack was unprovoked. The attackers were waving the Khalistani flag. Some of them were also carrying rods and swords and chanting "Death to India." The incident took place near Federation Square in Melbourne. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Khalistan movement is a separatist movement. They want the Indian state of Punjab to become a separate country. This demand has been made through violent attacks both in India and outside. And in Australia, pro-Khalistani groups were holding a referendum with a predictable question. Should Punjab in India become an independent country? When Indians carrying the tricolour showed up, they were attacked. The police had to intervene. In fact, the Indian High Commission in Canberra had feared this. Khalistani referendums have been planned in Melbourne and Sydney. On Republic Day, the Indian High Commission, in fact, issued a statement. It urged Australia to ensure the safety of Indians during these referendums. Let me quote from the Indian mission statement. These incidents are clear attempts to sow hatred and division among the peaceful, multi-faith and multicultural Indian-Australian community. Sunday's incident has gone viral on social media, but it's not an isolated one. In the last few weeks, 3 Hindu temples have been vandalized in Australia. The walls of these temples were defaced with pro-Khalistani and anti-India slogans. On the 12th of January, the Swami Narayan temple in the Mill Park area of Melbourne was desecrated. On the 16th, the historic Sri Shiva Vishnu temple in Carrum Downs, Victoria, was vandalized. And on the 23rd of this month, the ISKCON temple in Albert Park, Melbourne, was defaced. Authorities of the International Society of Krishna Consciousness, or ISKCON, have expressed concern. India has raised the matter with the government of Australia. And this is becoming a disturbing pattern. Similar attacks have been seen in other countries like Canada and Britain. In October last year, a pro-Khalistani group clashed with Indian supporters in Brampton, Canada. This was during Diwali celebrations at a mall. Around 500 people had gathered there for the celebration. The Khalistanis waved their yellow flag and shouted, "Khalistan Zindabad." The Indians responded with the chant of Jai Shri Ram. Same story in Britain. Khalistanis attacked a group of British Indians outside the Indian High Commission in London. This incident is from March 2019. Similar scenes were reported during India's Independence Day celebrations. And this raises questions about who is supporting these groups. How do they operate and attack Indians with impunity in these countries? Who is funding them? Who is leading them? What is the origin of this movement? Like I said, it's a Sikh separatist movement. It wants to create a sovereign state called Khalistan, or the land of the Khalsa, a state for the Sikhs, comprising Punjab in India and Punjab in Pakistan, with Lahore as its capital. Jagjit Singh Chauhan was the founder of this movement. He established the Council of Khalistan at Anandpur Sahib in April 1980. At its peak in the mid-1990s, the Khalistan movement was one of India's most violent insurgencies. It claimed more than 21,000 lives. Khalistan 1.0 found strong support in the Sikh community in Canada, the US and the UK. What we see now is the second avatar of this movement. And this too is backed by a part of the Sikh diaspora. They extend logistical support to keep this issue alive, to keep this movement alive. Their propaganda relies heavily on Operation Blue Star. A dark and difficult period for India. Terrorists led by Jarnail Singh Bhindranwala took over the Golden Temple in Amritsar. It's the holiest site for Sikhs. India launched a military operation to flush them out. Bhindranwale was killed. Prime Minister Indira Gandhi was assassinated, anti-Sikh riots followed, and years of violence and bloodshed. India may have killed the Khalistan movement, but it's rising again in the West. In countries like Canada, pro-Khalistani groups and leaders have growing political clout. In Britain, ISI-backed anti-India groups operate freely. And now we see these attacks in Australia. India's partners must rise to the occasion and walk the talk on combating all forms of terror.